Hey everybody, it's Ron from Pick Dawgz, and this is Ron's Rundown. We're going to go over the MLB game scheduled for Thursday, June 22nd, 2023. Now, if you like what you see, make sure to give this video a big thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. Don't forget to put your baseball picks in the comments section below, and if you're looking for my best bets, you can find those at the premium picks tab at pickdawgz.com. Alrighty, let's get into it. Here are the games for Thursday in Major League Baseball. First up, we see the Atlanta Braves taking on the Philadelphia Phillies. Bryce Elder and Taijuan Walker are your starters. Now, Taijuan Walker's in good form as of late, but when you look at his last 4 starts, the teams that he faced along the way, the New York Mets, the Detroit Tigers, Los Angeles Dodgers, and Oakland A's, none of those teams are in the top 10 in the last 30 days in team OPS against righties. Only 2 of those teams are in the top 15, the Mets and the Dodgers. So now you're facing the Atlanta Braves, the team that you gave up 10 base hits and 3 runs against back on May 24th. The Braves are number 1 in baseball in the last month against righties in both team OPS and isolated power. So although Walker's been solid at Citizens Bank Park this season, I don't think this is a very good spot or matchup for him. And Bryce Elder, he's got some regression concerns, that's for sure, but he's still been a very good option on the mound for Atlanta this season with a 2.6 ERA and a 1.76 ERA away from home. I like the Braves in this matchup. Give me Atlanta on the money line. Next up, it's the Arizona Diamondbacks taking on the Washington Nationals. Tommy Henry and Jake Irvin are your starters. I like the over in this game. This is a makeup game between these two as they had a postponement on June 8th. Tommy Henry has really struggled away from Chase Field. He got a 6.75 ERA on the road. And even his last game against the Guardians at home, he went 6 innings. He only gave up 2 runs, so it was a quality start on paper. But he gave up a home run. He only had 3 strikeouts, and he gave up 7 base hits. He got into a lot of jams in that game, and I didn't think he was very sharp on the mound in that one. Now you're facing a Nationals team that does a really good job of limiting strikeouts, similar to the Guardians, and they've hit lefties pretty well overall this season. So I do like the matchup for the offense for the Nationals, but don't love their pitching staff or their starting pitcher in this one. Irvin facing a Diamondbacks team. It's been one of the best lineups in baseball against righties all season long. They limit strikeouts. They get on base. They have some power in the middle of their lineup as well. Irvin, has been solid as of late. Only his last start, only 1 earned run in 5 innings, but this bullpen behind him is also not trustworthy. I think you'll see a lot of runs in this one. Give me the over here in Arizona, Washington. Next up, it's the Boston Red Sox taking on the Minnesota Twins. Joe Ryan going for Minnesota, no official starter for the Red Sox. Joe Ryan not really in the best of form in the month of June. In 19 2/3 innings, a 5.03 ERA. Now, most of that's because of his last game against the Tigers, where he gave up 6 earned runs, but 2 home runs in that game. He's only got 15 strikeouts this month, a 16-41 ground ball to fly ball ratio. They're all pretty concerning, and when you're facing a Red Sox team that's scoring runs in bunches lately, their offense has been really strong in the last week or so. Overall this year, pretty good numbers against right-handed pitchers. They limit strikeouts at the plate. I like their chances against Joe Ryan, so we'll have to see who the official starter is for Boston, but right now I'm leaning towards the Red Sox on the money line. Next up, we see the Oakland A's taking on the Cleveland Guardians. We're going to see J.P. Sears and Logan Allen on the mound in this one. I mentioned a couple of videos ago that I do believe J.P. Sears is one of the better options for the A's in their rotation right now. He's got a 1-4 record, but a 4.24 ERA is actually not too shabby as far as A's starters go, and he's got a decent strikeout number at 72 Ks and 76 in the 3rd innings of work. You're facing a Guardians team that hasn't been the best against lefties this year, and for the Oakland A's, you're facing a lefty on the other side in Logan Allen, who's pitching well so far, 3.95 ERA in his first Major League season, 54 2/3 innings, 53 strikeouts. He hasn't been the best of form recently, but look at the teams that he faced in those games. The San Diego Padres, the Houston Astros, the Minnesota Twins, the Baltimore Orioles, teams that either have winning records or, decent offenses in general. You're facing the Oakland A's in this matchup, the team that is dead last in baseball in team OPS and isolated power against lefties in the last month. So this is a really good bounce-back spot for Logan Allen. I think J.P. Sears pitches well. Give me the under here in Oakland and Cleveland. Next up, it's the San Diego Padres taking on the San Francisco Giants. Blake Snell and Alex Wood are your starters. Both teams have hit lefties very well in the last 30 days. The Padres, number 1 in baseball in isolated power and 5th in OPS. The Giants are 4th in OPS. But the Giants do have a 398 BABIP in the last 30 days against lefties, which is the highest in baseball by far. It's a very unsustainable BABIP, so there is some regression concerns with the Giants' numbers against lefties going forward. while the Padres' 261 BABIP is the fourth lowest in baseball. So their numbers really even more impressive in my opinion. I do believe Blake Snell is the better option on the mound. When you look at Blake Snell, he is just in great form. His last 5 starts, only 2 earned runs combined in those 5 games. 24 strikeouts in his last 13 innings of work against the Rockies and Rays. His last start, 6 innings, no earned runs, 2 hits, 12 strikeouts, and a 2-0 win over his former team. I think Blake Snell pitches well, and even though the Padres' bullpen has not been the best in this series, overall this year, the ERA and expected number-wise, this Padres bullpen has been fine. The Giants bullpen's been amazing, but I still think if San Diego has a lead late in this game, they'll be good enough to win this one. So give me the San Diego Padres on the money line on the road. Next up, it's the Kansas City Royals taking on the Tampa Bay Rays. No official starter for KC. We're going to see Shane McClanahan on the mound for Tampa Bay. For me, it's Rays run line or pass on the game altogether. We don't have an official lineup for this game right now, but we can expect the Rays to be minus 300, maybe even larger in this ball game, playing at Tropicana Field with their best pitcher and arguably the favorite to win the American League Cy Young right now in McClanahan. He's 11-1 with a 2.12 ERA. He's in good form going into this start, facing a Royals team that has not hit lefties very well in the last month. When you look at those numbers, Kansas City is 28th in baseball in isolated power. They're 26th in team OPS, and they have a 27% strikeout rate against left-handers in the last month. Not going to get it done against McClanahan. I got to take the Rays here on the run line at home. Next up, we see the Pittsburgh Pirates taking on the Miami Marlins. Mitch Keller and Braxton Garrett are your starters. Mitch Keller just hasn't been the same pitcher in the month of June and towards the end of May than he was at the beginning of the season. We saw his final 2 starts of the month of May. It went 12 innings combined, 17 base hits, and 10 earned runs against the Mariners and Giants. Then he went against the Oakland A's back on June 6th. It was a good spot for him against a weak team, but he gave up 5 earned runs and a home run with 4 walks to go with it, only 1 strikeout and 8 base hits. Then he had a bounce-back outing against the New York Mets where he went 7 innings of 1 run, 7 strikeout baseball, but followed it up with another bad outing against the Milwaukee Brewers. 5 innings, 4 earned runs, and a homer, 3 walks to go with it. It makes it 4 out of the last 5 games for Keller, giving up at least 1 home run. Braxton Garrett's been really sharp this year after that really bad start against the Braves, and you're a Pittsburgh Pirates lineup that's just not doing much against lefties. In the last month, Pittsburgh is 20th in team OPS and even worse in isolated power, ranked 27th in baseball. I got to take the Marlins in this game on the money line at home. Next up, we see the Seattle Mariners taking on the New York Yankees. Brian Wu and Domingo Germán are your starters. Now, Germán's been better at Yankee Stadium this season, but it's tough to back up coming off his last game against the Red Sox. 2 innings of work, 7 base hits, and 7 earned runs with a homer in a 15-5 Yankees loss. The Yankees lineup has really suffered without Aaron Judge, and Brian Wu on the other side, he struggled in his Major League debut, but since then, he has 16 strikeouts in his next 2 starts, 4 2/3 against the Angels, 5 2 against the White Sox, and both of those were Mariners wins. He's keeping, he does give up a good amount of sharp contact, and that's why we saw the extra base hits in the first game, the home runs in the next 2 games, but he misses a lot of bats, and he does not walk a lot of batters, only 2 walks in his first 12 1/3 innings of work. Against this Yankees lineup, I actually like the matchup for Brian Wu. I think the Mariners can get to Germán. Give me the Seattle Mariners on the money line on the road to end the night. And that's it. Those are the games for Thursday in the MLB. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe, and don't forget to put your baseball picks in the comments section below. Again, if you're looking for my best bets, you can find those at Pick Dawgz Premium. As always, this is Ron Romanelli. Good luck.